first impressions happen fast. Research shows that within 7 seconds of entering a room or starting a conversation, someone has formed a picture of you in their mind. Once that first impression is formed, changing it is like fixing a bad Wi-Fi signal. Annoying, frustrating, and often ineffective. Whether you're interviewing for a job, meeting a potential love interest, making new friends, or attending an important networking event, making a positive first impression isn't about perfection. It's about making others feel comfortable, find you interesting, and most importantly, want to see you again. To achieve this, you don't have to act. Instead, learn how to leverage these proven tips from psychology and behavioral science to make an impression naturally, effectively, and sustainably. Before you even open your mouth, people sense your energy. Confidence is the first thing they see, even before you say hello. The way you stand, the way you walk, and the expression on your face send powerful signals about who you are. Want to project confidence? Instantly stand up straight. Keep your back straight and your shoulders back. This posture not only makes you look more powerful, but also stimulates the release of dopamine, the feel-good chemical. When you walk, don't rush or slow down. Keep a steady, purposeful pace. Maintain natural eye contact. Don't stare, but look for a few seconds and then gently move away. And if you're feeling nervous, a quick tip is to take a deep breath before entering a space. This slows your heart rate, reduces stress, and makes you appear calmer. A super effective trick. Do a power pose for 2 minutes before meeting someone. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, hands on hips like Superman, and breathe deeply. Research shows that this action reduces the stress hormone cortisol and increases the confidence hormone testosterone. First impressions are not only created by the confidence or posture you present when you enter a room, but also depend a lot on how you make others feel when you are around them. People don't always remember what you say, but they will remember how you make them feel. After that first moment, with your steady gait, steady breathing, and confident gaze, the next thing that determines the connection is the feeling you bring to the other person. One of the most powerful ways to make a good impression is to make them feel that they are truly noticed, that they matter in your presence. This starts with saying their name at EXO. A simple greeting like "nice to meet you." Alex is much more powerful than just "nice to meet you." Hearing your name lights up a part of the human brain associated with reward and pleasure. A name is not just personal information. It is a sign of presence, recognition, and connection. When you use someone's name correctly, naturally and sincerely, they feel remembered, cared for, and that creates a powerful sense of well-being. Real presence is not just about words, but also about your eyes, your attention, and your demeanor. If you are constantly glancing at your phone, looking around the room, or losing focus during a conversation, no matter how polite or engaging your words are, the other person may feel overlooked. To create a real connection, give the other person your full attention, as if they are the only person in the room. A simple eye contact, a well-timed nod, or a small smile can make someone feel respected and present. Another important part of connecting is asking deeper, more genuine questions rather than just small talk. Instead of asking, "What do you do?" try, "What do you enjoy most about your job?" Or instead of asking, "How was your weekend?" say, "What happened to you this week?" These questions make the conversation more natural, personal, and open, creating a deeper emotional connection between the two of you. To make someone feel like you're really listening, you need to do more than just be quiet when they're talking. True listening is about responding, about showing that you're absorbing what they're saying. A slight nod, a follow-up question, or repeating keywords they've just used, like Japan. That was great. What impressed you the most about being there are all ways to show you're paying full attention. The more someone feels heard, the more likely they are to open up, and the more trust you build between the two of you. Even small gestures like nodding while they're talking can have a big impact on the level of intimacy you create. A well-timed nod not only means you understand, but also shows that you acknowledge and empathize. Combine that with natural, unforced eye contact, and you've gone a long way toward building rapport right from the start. When you truly put someone at the center of a conversation, something magical happens. They feel understood, seen, and appreciated. 3 fundamental elements for any relationship to thrive. And best of all, you'll be remembered. Not because you said something nice, but because you made them feel better about themselves. Once you've entered the space with confident energy and presence, the next step in making a first impression is the art of greeting, which sets the tone for the rest of the conversation. The way you greet someone, whether it's a handshake, a smile, or a nod, can make them feel either open or wary. And the interesting thing is, these seemingly simple gestures have a surprisingly profound psychological power. When you shake someone's hand, it's more than just a physical contact, it's a ritual of communication, an initial sign of trust, a firm handshake, not too strong to be uncomfortable, but not limp either, lasting about 2 to 3 seconds. While maintaining eye contact and offering a slight smile will instantly convey that you are trustworthy, sincere, and confident. A weak or too long handshake, on the other hand, can come across as insecure or awkward, even if you don't mean it that way. However, in many everyday situations, a confident nod or a genuine smile is often more appropriate. For example, when meeting an old friend at a coffee shop or being introduced to someone at a cocktail party, you don't necessarily need to extend your hand. A bright eye contact, a friendly smile, and a full presence are enough to open the door to connection. And what's even more important is the cultural factor. In some countries or communities, shaking hands is considered standard courtesy, while in others, a slight bow, placing your hand on your chest, or avoiding physical contact is a sign of respect. Recognizing and adapting to these differences will not only help you avoid awkwardness, but also make you appear more sensitive to others. A small but extremely effective tip: match your energy level to the person you're shaking hands with. If they're enthusiastic and firm in their handshake, you should naturally mirror that energy. If they lean toward a gentle, calm side, then staying calm and relaxed will also help create emotional synchronicity. Such subtle and unconscious compatibility is the basis for that feeling of matching, which is hard to describe but easy to feel. And then, when the conversation begins, the most important thing to remember is you don't need to say a lot to make an impression. On the contrary, the more you let the other person share, the more they will feel appreciated and connected to you. This is the 70-30 rule, like one of the golden rules of effective communication. Accordingly, Juanu, you should only talk about 30% of the time, and use the remaining 70% to listen actively, ask open-ended questions, pique their interest, and then let them tell their story. While listening, don't just stay silent. Show that you are really interested by nodding, raising your eyebrows slightly, or repeating the main points they just shared as a way to confirm that you understand and empathize. For example, if they say, "I just had a trip to Japan," instead of just saying, "Oh, that's interesting," you can respond, "That was great. What impressed you the most in Japan?" Questions not only show that you're paying attention, but they also expand the depth of the conversation, allowing the other person to continue sharing feelings and experiences, something they'll remember about you long after the conversation ends. Another tip for building trust almost instantly is to incorporate a slight nod while the other person is speaking. This is a powerful nonverbal signal that helps the speaker feel heard, accepted, and thus more open. These small, gentle, yet sincere movements, when repeated naturally, create a deep sense of connection without the need for any fancy words or techniques. Clearly, creating a first impression is not just about what you say. Rather, it is about how you make the other person feel, how you present yourself, approach, greet, and care enough to really listen. These are the foundations for any relationship, whether it is a business relationship, a friendship, or a potential first meeting. While words may create content, it is body language that conveys emotion. Up to 93% of the messages you send in a conversation come from nonverbal factors. The way you stand, the way you use your hands, your eyes, your facial expressions, and even the distance between you and the other person. Therefore, if you want to touch the other person's emotions right from the first meeting, you cannot ignore the role of every small movement. Every gesture is a signal. If you control them properly, the other person will feel your sincerity, openness, and full presence. Start with the way you place your body in space. Don't cross your arms, put them in your pockets, or clench your fists. These seemingly harmless behaviors can easily make others feel that you are closed or reserved. Instead, let your hands be present naturally, maybe resting them lightly on the table, opening your palms when speaking, or simply letting them relax at your sides. That's how you say, "I'm here, I'm ready to listen," without saying a word. When someone is speaking, leaning slightly toward them is more than just a polite reflex. It's a sign of attention and respect. It makes the other person feel noticed, valued, and more likely to open up. If you can match their body language, smile when they smile, nod when they nod, you're creating unconscious synchronicity. Interestingly, people feel more connected to those who express themselves in a similar way, even if they can't quite put their finger on why. Eye contact is also an important bridge. Eye contact builds trust, but only if it's done in a flexible and natural way. Looking into someone's eyes 60 to 70% of the time while you're speaking or listening is a good ratio to show interest without making them feel pressured. A gentle gaze combined with a small smile at the right time will make others feel safe around you, and that is the feeling that is the foundation of all good relationships. When a conversation ends, the last moment is often the one that others remember the most. So don't let it pass in silence or awkwardness. Leave a positive impression with a sincere thank you, a positive comment, or simply a positive energy statement like, "It was great talking to you. I hope we meet again." Such closings create a warm, pleasant ending and sometimes a premise for a future meeting. A good ending doesn't have to be grand, it just needs to be timely, emotional, and come from a place of genuine presence. Even if you're not sure you made a strong impression, walk away with confidence and ease. It's the feeling you leave behind, not what you say, that people will take away. But no matter how many techniques you employ, the most important thing is authenticity. The person you're talking to isn't expecting you to be perfect. They just want you to be a caring, attentive listener and truly present in the conversation. Don't try to create an edited version just to impress, because fakery, no matter how subtle, is still easy to sense. Meanwhile, sincerity always has a way of reaching out to others without trying too hard. If you often feel pressured during first meetings, try changing your perspective. Instead of asking, "Do they like me?" ask yourself, "Do I like them?" This question will take you out of the feeling of being judged and into a state of discovery, a state that makes you much more natural, open, and relatable. And after all that has been said, you may want to take a brief recap to remember. Walk in with a straight posture, open eyes, and a small smile. Use the other person's name. Find common ground and show genuine interest. Ask good questions. Listen more than you talk. Respond positively and keep your body open. When you leave, leave a sincere thank you, and most importantly, yourself. Try picking one behavior, one technique from the ones we talked about, and apply it in your next meeting. Even a small step, a glance, a smile at the right time, can make a big difference. And if you see a difference, keep developing those positive habits until they become second nature. Because at the end of the day, making a good impression isn't about acting well. It's about being authentically present at the right time and with the right people.